The Fed has announced 6 interest rate hikes in 2022. Hi, I'm Matt Curtis, and the question is, what will rate hikes mean to the Huntsville real estate market in 2022? The question everybody is asking is also, are we going to see a real estate crash this year? Stay tuned to the end of the video for my opinion on that question, but first, let's do a quick recap on what's created this historic seller's market with both record low inventory and record appreciation. Number one is we have a 5.5 million home deficit in this country, and that dates back to the 2008 housing crash where builders slowed down the supply of new homes in this country, but we continue to have family formations, which created that 5.5 million home gap. Due to this deficit of 5.5 million homes, we now have record low supply of about 800,000 homes nationally. Now, normal supply is anywhere between 2 to 2.5 million homes, so we're at about a third of the normal supply that we normally have nationally. Number two is we have a record number of millennials that are starting to enter this housing market, which is creating increased demand. And then number three is 1 in 4 homes nationally are being bought by an investor right now, which is definitely hurting first-time home buyers and competing for new homes. So it's 1 in 4 nationally, but in some areas it's as high as 1 out of 3 or even 1 out of 2. So we have a housing deficit and record demand for homes, and the only solution is to build more homes. However, it's not going to be easy to increase that supply. Home building is actually expected to decrease in 2022. We finally hit normal, and now we're looking at a possible slowdown from normal. And the reason for that is 2 things. Number one is supply chain challenges, and then number 2 is increased interest rates. The last time that we hit 5% interest rates, demand slowed due to affordability. That also increases the rate that it costs home builders to build, which will also likely decrease the supply of new homes in this country. We're starting to see a slight slowdown nationally in sales volume. Pending home sales were down 4.1% in February and 5.4% year over year. So with number of home sales being down, prices are actually still red hot. So the question is why? Because of the housing shortage. Remember, this is just a supply and demand issue. I've actually heard estimates that it could take 10 to 19 years to fix this housing supply. Interest rates will start to cool off demand, but for all the wrong reasons. Entry-level buyers will be priced out due to higher prices and higher interest rates, which will create an affordability crisis for these entry-level buyers. And overall sales volume is likely to slow down, but don't let that fool you. Prices aren't coming down due to both inflation and lack of supply. An article in Forbes recently summed it up. If you're thinking of waiting until home prices drop, don't. You might end up renting forever. So what are your thoughts on rising interest rates and the record low supply? I want to hear from both first-time home buyers and homeowners. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button to stay on top of the latest Huntsville, Alabama real estate news.